Hi everyone, and welcome to another video in the Cosmic Tower Science series. And thank you so much for watching the other videos and sticking with it. And special thanks to all of you who left a comment or a like. I appreciate it. But ultimately, I am grateful for you simply watching because it makes a difference on a level most people are not even aware of. And in today's video, we'll find out why. And I have to say, I'm really excited about this video. If I could pick just one video to share with someone that I think would make the biggest impact, I think it would be this one. So let's talk about why. Here's an interesting fact you might or might not be aware of as you're watching this video, and it might sound crazy to some, which is that whether you interact through a comment or a like, simply watching this video changes not only you, but it also changes me and the world around you. You are helping me change my perception and understanding by watching this video, which ultimately changes my reality and more importantly, changes the world as a whole and hopefully for the better. So yes, my own perception and understanding changed as you watch this. And in this video, you'll see why this is. Then what's more important is do not just watch this and listen to it, but to really apply this knowledge, which will truly change your life and the world around you. And many of you might already know this information. In that case, just let it be a reminder and motivation to apply this knowledge even more in your life. And if this is new to you, now is your last chance to hit stop because once you see or hear this, you cannot unsee or unhear it. And it will put you in the driver's seat of your reality. So let me pull my slide up. Here we go. So let's talk about the pink elephant in the science room, consciousness. Science treats consciousness as a hallucination in the brain, even though experiments like the double slit experiments show that there's more to it and that observation and consciousness influence the experiment. Now, spiritual tradition and the new sciences, on the other hand, they consider consciousness the foundation of creation. And to me, explaining our reality or creation without taking consciousness into account, it's like me trying to explain to somebody what a pool is, but excluding water from my explanation. So let's start this video up off with a quote from author Henry Miller. And he wrote, "Life is squeezed into a seed, which is a soul. Everything has soul, including minerals, plants, lakes, mountains, rocks. Everything is sentient, even at the lowest stage of consciousness. Once this fact is grasped, there can be no more despair." And I hope that's what this video will do for you. So, consciousness, I mean, it's really obvious. If you have a pet, a cat or a dog or another animal, you know they're conscious. You know, not the same as our human consciousness. They have their own consciousness and their own perception of reality based on their sense organs and the range of their sense organs. A dog or a cat, for example, can hear or smell in a much different range than humans, but they're conscious. I mean, that's obvious for people that own pets. But it goes way further. Plants are conscious too. Cleve Baxter, who was the inventor of the polygraph, the lie detector, he got bored one day, so he decided to hook his polygraph up to one of his plants. And then he threatened the plant that he was going to burn one of the plant's leaves. And sure thing, there was a reaction on the polygraph. So if you want to learn more about this, you can read The Secret Life of Plants by Cleve Baxter. Water is conscious also. Look at the experiments of Dr. Emoto, who would flash freeze water so they could take under a high magnification pictures of the water crystals. What did they notice? If somebody had detrimental or lower vibration emotions or thoughts, the structure of the water would be distorted. I mean, the crystals would not be beautiful at all. While if somebody prayed over the water or loved the water or sent it beautiful intentions, these beautiful water crystals would form with beautiful symmetries and these hexagonal shapes. So it shows you water also has a consciousness, and our consciousness interacting with the consciousness of water actually has the ability to change the water. The cells of your body and your DNA is consciousness. You can look at the work of Bruce Lipton, epigenetics, or the biology of belief, that shows us how our thoughts and emotions and our environment influence our cells and even our DNA. So these are just some examples, but you get the point. Our environment, like every energy system, has a consciousness and is alive. So Rupert Sheldrake, he calls it the morphogenetic field. We're all familiar with the idea that you have fields extending beyond the material objects in which they are rooted. For example, a magnetic field extends beyond the surface of the magnet. Gravitational field of a planet extends far beyond that planet and affects other planets nearby. So likewise, our energy fields also extend far beyond our body. So Sheldrake talks that about how through morphic resonance, the patterns of activity and self-organizing in conscious systems are influenced by similar patterns in the past. So, and by the environment and everything it interacts with. So this gives each species a kind of a and each self-organizing system kind of a collective memory. And we talked about this when we talked about resonance in previous videos. When two energy systems are in resonance, not only is there an exchange of information and energy, but later when the resonance is gone, both remain changed after their interaction. So this shows a sort of a memory effect. Then he also talks about how the morphic fields connect together members of a group. So even when they're many miles apart, it provides channels of communication through which organisms can stay in touch at a distance. One example of this is the 100 monkey experiment, which you might have heard of. And I believe it was an island somewhere in Southeast Asia, and they gave sweet potatoes, which the monkeys really liked. They gave sweet potatoes to them, but they had sand on them. So then they would show a few monkeys how to wash the sand off with the water before they eat it. Well, of course, all the other monkeys in that group learned from each other and all started the washing the sweet potatoes. But then what they notice is after a certain amount of monkeys knew how to do this, they started to notice that on other islands where there were monkeys that were never in contact with these monkeys, they started to do the same thing. So that shows us that every living organism doesn't only have like this individual consciousness in a sense, but also a collective consciousness. So with humans, we have more that sense of individuality, while with animals, they're still far more connected to this and influenced by their collective consciousness. And, you've probably had this, all of a sudden, you're thinking about somebody for no apparent reason. Next thing you know, they're calling you within seconds or minutes, right? And it turns out that over 80% of the population that had experiences like this, of knowing at some level who was calling before even picking up the phone. And then they did some controlled experiments on this telephone telepathy, which gave repeatable positive results that are really significant. So the morphic fields of our mental activity are not confined just to our heads. They extend far beyond our brain through our intention and our attention. So this helps provide an explanation for telepathy. So you can learn more at Rupert Sheldrake website about this. But next, I want to go into the speed of thought. Have you ever heard of the speed of thought? Well, the next experiment I'm going to show you will validate this concept. So tons of experiments have been done in the meantime on consciousness by an ever-growing group of researchers and scientists. But you probably won't hear about these in science class or on the news at night. So I just picked one of the many to show that this communication at a distance, but also communication faster than the speed of light. And this experiment was done in Germany by the German Mind World Institute. And researchers, they took two people and they put them about 300 kilometers, over 180 miles apart, and they hooked them up to brain tracers so they could measure their brain activity. And both these people, they knew each other, but there was no close relationship. And then one person was given a picture to initiate telepathic contact. What they noticed when that picture was given, both subjects, they could record it in their brainwave activity. But the surprising thing was that there was no time lapse. So the second subject was affected the exact moment when the first subject was shown the picture. So this shows that both subjects were influenced instantaneously and simultaneously while they were separated by great distance, really challenging mainstream science, scientific ideas. But it shows that telepathic interactions are real and that they can move faster than the speed of light. So let's talk about some important points about consciousness. Well, everything in the universe, from the atom, plants, humans to the solar system, up to the whole universe, is conscious, has a consciousness and a personality of some sort. And systems are in constant evolution through resonance, right? When they exchange information and energy. And this personality at the different levels, it interacts within its own perception of time and space, which is different than ours, and it might not be easily perceived by other systems within other time-space dimensions. So it might be really hard for us to imagine what the consciousness of a plant is like. But clearly, everything is conscious. And we are living beings inside of the earth being. We are a part of it. We are like cells of the greater organism that is earth. And we're not something separate from earth, just living on it. And it's pretty obvious because let's look at you breathing, for example. What you breathe out and no longer serves you, the tree breathes in. What the tree breathes out, you breathe in. So there is an entire ecosystem that you are a part of. So in a way, a tree is one of your external organs and really important. Another example is like plants and fruits that we eat. Most of us, at least, we cannot go outside and just absorb all the life force from the sun. So we have plants that absorb this information, this life force from the sun, and then actually store it in their fruits. And then we actually get the life force that was stored in the fruit by eating it. It just goes to show that everything is interconnected, and when our environment is not thriving or healthy, we cannot be healthy. So the whole universe is like one great multi-level being, as is being taught in many religious traditions and scriptures, and even the Aboriginals that suggest that everything in the universe prays to divine being in its own way. So this is an indication that everything is alive and therefore conscious in its own way, and we should treat it that way. So the human individual energy system is in constant exchange of energy information, not only with the collective, but also with the environment and on all the levels that we talked about in previous video, not just the physical, but also the energetic, the emotional, the mental, and the spiritual level. Then what's really important to remind you of too is that awareness creates resonance with what you are observing. So the moment you are observing something, both you and what you observe exchange information, and both systems are changed. And this is really important for people that are hyper electrosensitive. It's important to know the stronger your focus on all the man-made EMF and 5G, and then especially if you have some charge around it mentally or emotionally, maybe it makes you angry or sad or depressed, the stronger the resonance becomes, because where is your focus? You have your awareness on all these 5G towers and whatever. So you're actually choosing to even exchange more energy and information with it. So Dr. Karim actually talks about how if we have certain detrimental mental and emotional states like lying or anger or any type of blame, it creates similar detrimental waves in our energy field compared to man-made EMF. That means that having these emotions or these thoughts that are detrimental will actually amplify the detrimental effects of man-made EMF. So it's really important that we understand that with our awareness comes a responsibility. You in a way become more of and create more of what you are putting your awareness on. It's like the outer world is really a mirror of your inner world. And that's why it's important to focus on like the one harmonizing quality, for example. So you exchange more energy with that. In the process, you become, more harmonious, which then also makes your environment more harmonious. And that's really what the Cosmic Tower Project is also about. The towers, they help the environment, but they also help all of us to connect more to our own source, the centering quality within it. So our consciousness shifts, we look at the world differently, and we have a more harmonious effect on the world and the people around us. So practically, what does this mean? For example, maybe you have health issues, or you're a person who helps others with their health issues. So you or the people you help can only get truly healthy if we change both the inner and the outer environment on all the levels of reality, including vitality, emotional, mental, and spiritual planes. And especially through having that connection to the one harmonizing quality by centering ourselves and bringing more of that quality in our lives. As that changes within, so the outside will change. As they say, as above, so below, as within, so without. So change your awareness. When you change your awareness, you change your perception, your view of your reality, and it changes your life. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Have a great day. Bye-bye.